How do you feel about personalized nutrition? This is the concept that every one of us is different. We're all unique. All right.
It's a live show.
It's
It's
a live
okay.
show, and I'm good now. All right. So let's get going. So we are talking about personalized nutrition. And when it comes to nutrition, so every one of us, we're talking about gut health. So, what does personalized nutrition have to do with gut health? Every one of us has our own unique microbiome, our own metabolic profile, and our own health needs. And so, this idea of one size fits all maybe is not optimal for everyone. So, this is where this concept of personalized nutrition comes in. It's basically dietary recommendations are tailored to the individual so that we can take into account our own unique biological, genetic, and lifestyle factors. And so we are going to spend our day talking about personalized nutrition, and I'm going to kind of tailor on one particular topic, and that is Nutrigenomics. And so we are going to get started. So we're going to talk about the key components of personalized nutrition. And the first one is we all have our own unique gut microbiome. So the composition of our gut bacteria is going to vary significantly between individuals. And this is the difference on how we will affect how we digest our food, metabolize certain foods, and also, it's going to help. It's going to impact our health. So if you're just joining us today, we've done this is a series, and you can sign up and watch the series. We talked about the kind of the basics of the gut microbiome and what the health benefits are. And we also talked about fiber and how important fiber is. So you can catch up on those sessions. But when it comes to our gut microbiome, we all have different microbiome. And we're going to talk in a later session about the fact that we can actually do a fecal transplant, which is basically take the poop out of one person and put it in another person and see what the impacts are. It's actually, Kathy, it's very fascinating. It sounds gross, but it's actually very fascinating and interesting. Anyways, and when it comes to our microbiome and talking about poop, which is really, there are people and scientists who have gone throughout the world getting poop samples or fecal samples from different people in different regions and finding out what kind of gut microbiome they have, what organisms are in their gut. And they have actually found that depending on where you go, the concentration of these organisms is different in North America versus, say, South America and different regions. And it all depends on what they're eating, what's in the soil, and all these other things. And what they actually found here in North America, our number of organisms has been shrinking because of the food we are eating. And I just want to say this is a topic that is really in the infancy of its study. We only have been able to study this in depth since 2006, when we actually had the technology to be able to see all those microorganisms that are part of our human existence and important for us. So we're all different in terms of what our gut microbiome looks like. There's also genetic factors. We are all different as well, unless you are a twin. Your genetic variation can influence how we respond to certain nutrients. So some people have a predisposition that will impact their metabolism of fats, carbohydrates, or vitamins. And this is where nutrigenomics comes in. That is the study of the interaction between nutrition and our genes. And using nutrigenomics, we can help to tailor our dietary recommendations based on our genetic makeup. And I'm going to talk about this later because I actually have my own personal story around nutrigenomics. Our health status and our goals are also something that is going to vary. You could, your health status. Are you a healthy person? Have you got diseases or different markers that are showing that, something is coming on? There's also things, like managing diabetes. There's weight loss. Maybe you need to improve your digestive health. So there's all different things that are out there in terms of our health status. And also, what do we want to focus on? And so this is where personalized nutrition can help as well. And then there's our lifestyle and our preferences. So, some people have different levels of physical activity. If you sit behind a desk, like I have for most of my life, my lifestyle is more sedentary than somebody what my husband was, a construction worker. So he was out every day working hard. And so he didn't need to get his exercise by going to the gym or going for a walk or what have you, because for 8 hours a day he was exercising and working. Whereas for me, sitting at a desk, I need to consciously take my time out to do some kind of exercise. And this is where desk yoga can also help too, because you can at least get some stretching, get up every hour. It's like a very different lifestyle. There's also people who are athletes. Though when you're an athlete, you're spending a lot of time training. And so there's a lot of different types of activity. We all have different stress. We all react differently to stress. What stresses you out might not stress me out, and vice versa. How we sleep, and also what kinds of food we like. Geez, I have 4 kids, and there's 5 different preferences of food. Oh, I'll say 6 when I was with my husband. We all had our own food preferences and, likes and dislikes. I have one daughter who's got that thing for cilantro where it tastes like soap. It just is. And they say that, I've heard that's genetic, but I'm not sure. But, so there's all sorts of things that play into it. I don't like spice. One of my kids likes spice. My husband was a total spice phenom. He loves spicy food. And some of that comes to culture and what you grew up with, and all sorts of things. So with all of these things, this is where maybe the one size fits all doesn't work for all of us. And so I got my little thing here. Should we be off the rack or custom? So if we kind of think about it like a suit, you can get an off the rack suit. Basically, there's standard sizing, and you just kind of fit with what it is. And so it's kind of designed to help to fit most people. And if you are somebody who is 7 feet tall, then likely you're not going to be able to wear a off the rack suit, because the arms are going to be like up to here, and you're going to have 6 inches of gap, and probably the suit won't even fit you. I mean, I could see it like coming down to your waist instead of where it should be sitting. On the other hand, you can you could get a custom suit so that it matches what your body is. It's tailored specifically for you. And so, if you are somebody, obviously that takes more time and energy to do a custom suit than to just buy off the rack. So then the question is, if I can easily fit into off the rack clothes, do I need to have a custom suit? So this is just a question that we can ask ourselves. And I have my own opinion, and I'm going to leave it till the end, for sure. So when we're talking about personalized nutrition, so there's some things that you need to do. I think if you really want to get into personalized nutrition and get that optimal diet specifically for you. The first thing would be to do microbiome testing to provide some of those insights into your own gut bacteria. And so this information can help guide your dietary adjustments and help to support the beneficial bacteria and reduce the harmful ones. So there is this testing, but my understanding is that it's not perfect yet. And I guess then the question would be all these things like cost and what all goes into that. There's genetic testing, so you can get genetic tests to identify specific nutrient needs and sensitivity. This is where the Nutrigenomics comes in. And so then you can see a little bit more about where you will have sensitivities, and you can personalize the dietary recommendations based on your own genetic profile. You could do a dietary assessment. So you could do a comprehensive assessment to help identify your current eating habits and nutritional gaps and provide a baseline for a personalized recommendation. And I think this one, you can do a dietary assessment. I think that's a good starting point when you want to make changes in your health and your lifestyle, just in general, to make that assessment. Whether that means that you're going to go on a personalized program and do the microbiome testing and the genetic testing as well, that's something that you would need to determine yourself. But I think that just in general, it's a good step to starting something new. And also there's the monitoring and adjustment. So if you're looking at personalized nutrition, things are going to change over time. It's going to be an ongoing process. So you would need to do regular monitoring of your health markers and then your dietary response to allow for continuous, improvement and optimization of your diet. So why would we want to go through all this? Because there's a lot to it. And to be honest, there's 8 billion or so people in this world and counting. That's a lot of people to look at for personalized nutrition. And we all have different, like all 8 billion people, there's different there. We all have differences. We're not, we're all unique. So it's a lot. Anyway, so the benefits are that you can have improved health outcomes. So a tailored dietary plan can help lead to better health outcomes, address your specific needs and your specific conditions that you have. It can enhance adherence. So if you are following a personalized nutrition plan, it's going to take into account your preferences and your lifestyle as well, and maybe easier to stick to and promote long-term success. And then it can help you to take in the optimal nutrients for your specific body. So it would give you the right balance of nutrients that are unique to you for improving your health. So these are some of the things to think about. It's definitely about crafting a very tailored, custom-made um, um, uh, plan to take into account your microbiome, your genetic makeup, your health status, and your lifestyle. And so we can do some of that without getting into the um, genetics and what your gut microbiome testing, uh, because we can definitely, you can work with professionals that will help you to have a plan that works for you. And with all of the things that are out there, you definitely can get a plan that's maybe not one size fits all. All right. Now, Nutrigenomics. What is it? Basically, what it is the study of how our genes interact with nutrients we consume. And it helps us to understand how genetic variations can affect individual responses to diet, and how the diet can actually influence our gene expression. So, based on the current technology we have, we start with DNA testing. So, DNA testing has become more accessible to people and consumers. There's many companies that are offering in-home genetic testing. You can get a kit where you just basically swipe the inside of your cheek, and then they analyze the specific genetic markers. It's called a SNP, an SNP, which is a single nucleotide polymorphism, and that can help provide insights into how your body will process different nutrients. So you can also, so this, I had this done, and so I have this big long report. I have a summary report that's a big long report. And then I have each individual piece of the summary has a big long report as well. It's a lot of information to understand, but it gives you, will tell you where you've got predisposition for deficiencies, sensitivity, and optimal dietary patterns. So you might end up with a tendency towards lower vitamin D absorption, or you might have a sensitivity to caffeine that's revealed through the testing. The other thing you can, what you can do with that is you can actually customize supplements for yourself. So there are companies out there that will offer a customized supplement to address your predisposition based on your genetics. And so basically what you get is one supplement that has all of the different components that are good for you or that you need based on your genetics. And they put in some kind of regular things that everybody should have. So they have a wide variety of supplements. So instead of going to the store and the health food store and buying 10 different supplements and guessing where it is, you can actually hone in and get one supplement that's custom fit for you. And I'm just going to say that'll probably save you some money down the road instead of just guessing at what supplements are going to be good. I'm going to say supplements are just what they say they are. They are supplements. If you are not eating a good diet, supplements are not going to balance out the fact that you are eating a pretty crappy diet. So for supplements to work, they have to supplement what you're eating, and you cannot make up for a bad diet by throwing a bunch of supplements at yourself. And how do we know that? I'm just going to go by anecdotal information. Basically, if the supplements were giving us all the benefits of the health, we wouldn't have the health issues that we have today. Because if everybody took a calcium supplement and that worked for everybody, then we would not have any osteoporosis and other things like that. So I think to me that it's just kind of common sense that, supplements are not a panacea. They're great. I'm not saying that they're not good, but they're not a replacement for a good diet. All right. And so there's lots of potential. Like this nutrigenomics is a pretty new area, and there's lots of potential for things to improve and, for them to have more research, etc. And this is actually can help you to get a holistic plan. So you need to also integrate your nutrigenomics with your diet and your lifestyle. I've already talked about the fact that you cannot replace your diet and substitute supplement a bad diet with the supplements and think that's going to make everything better. In addition, you need to look at your own lifestyle as well. Definitely, it's not going to help you if you have a stressful lifestyle, you're not getting enough sleep, you're not getting any kind of exercise. So it's not, again, not a panacea to fix everything that's broken. It's supplements. But it can help in certain situations. And when it comes to the benefits, you can make more. If you know what it is, that you need vitamin B12, or you have an issue with vitamin B12 absorption, you can prioritize that. So it can help you understand your own situation and maybe make some changes. Can also help with targeted nutrition intervention. So if you have a certain deficiency, you can really amp up on that deficiency if it can be done. And it can help with preventative health. It can help if you can identify risk factors for chronic diseases, such as heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. Then by understanding that and that you have the risk, you could actually adopt a preventative dietary and lifestyle approach so that you can avoid that. And the other thing is that if you are an athlete or an individual who's focused on peak performance, then you could benefit from the nutrigenomics by tailoring your nutrition to support your genetic makeup to enhance your performance and recovery. And as a matter of fact, the person that introduced me to nutrigenomics is an elite athlete. And this is something that she did as part of her plan for her own enhancing her performance and recovery, was getting on a specific supplement regimen that was specific to her. Of course, this doesn't come without some kind of limitations and some considerations. Number one is that this field is fairly new. It's very promising, but it's still evolving. So they're continuing to research and validate the impacts of our genetic variations on our nutrition. And so you should just kind of know that. And if you're going to dive into nutrigenomics, make sure you're cautious and rely on reputable sources and reputable companies. There's the information, genetics is just one piece of the puzzle. There's environmental factors, lifestyle, overall health. And so nutrigenomics can play a part in a broader holistic approach to our health, but it isn't everything, which we already talked about. And it's something just to be cautious of is, again, if you're giving your genetic information to companies, make sure that you're working with a reputable company that has strong data protection policies in place, because that's another thing that comes up. And I've seen a few lawsuits, not on this, but just on, I was provided with information on a lawsuit for one of the labs, the blood, the labs like the blood work labs they had a data leak, and people's information, their blood work and all that stuff was compromised over a period of time. And so if that's something that concerns you, make sure that you are looking into that as well. And so I said I would talk about my own personal story. So I did was introduced to nutrigenomics through this person who is an elite athlete. And I actually went ahead and I had the genetic testing done. And interestingly enough, I found out that I have a genetic, I guess, mutation for feeling full, I'll say. So my body doesn't recognize right away that I am full. And so I thought, hey, maybe that's what my problem is. That's what my problem is that
Oh my gosh.
my body doesn't recognize that I'm full. And so interestingly enough, I did a little, very, very tiny, a little bit of research on that and found out that although that is a thing and it can be a thing, they don't feel that that is a big factor in people's weight and weight management. However, it is good to know that. And so for me, one of the I guess I'll give an example of, when I have a bowl of pasta, I eat the whole bowl. I don't just stop when I'm full. I eat the whole thing. So the way that I can combat that is by making sure that I only make enough for me and one sitting. The same thing with, I was telling my daughter that I've tried to cut down, eat just a small amount of my whole grain, like a rice or whatever, with my meals. But if I make a pot of rice, I always overdo it compared to what I should. And so the way that I can combat that and knowing that is to only make what I need for myself and not make enough for a whole family or for, 5 days if it's something that I can't handle. So really a lot of it does come down to us actually understanding ourselves and our own, you need to understand yourself and no matter how much genetic testing you get done, no matter how much you get your gut microbiome, you work on stuff, there are things that are just that you need to really understand and know yourself, be honest with yourself, and really make sure that you are just putting things in place that are going to work for you. And we all have that. And so I guess when I think about the one size fits all or tailoring our nutrition to our bodies, I think that there is some merit in tailoring our diet and to our lifestyle and what's going to work for us. Definitely. And there are going to be people that need to have, that have health issues where having this kind of a personalized nutrition plan where they delve into all these tests is going to be very beneficial. But so there are people that are going to, a custom suit is going to be what they need because they're 7 feet tall, or maybe they're only 4 feet tall, or they have really broad shoulders and whatever, whatever the issues are, that they just can't fit a off the rack program. But for most of us, I think that the first thing is to start with a good program and making sure that we're talking a lot about a whole food, plant-based lifestyle. And if you start with that, and then you can do the adjustments for yourself. If you've got issues with your microbiome, a lot of times our body will speak to us. And if we listen to our body, we can make adjustments. My one daughter doesn't eat broccoli because it makes her gassy. I know someone else who gets gassy from cauliflower, so they just avoid those things. And so it's something that we can start with the good foundation program, and then we can all make the changes and personalize it for ourselves. And if you really need to get into something where you're doing all this testing, if that doesn't work for you, I do know had a colleague I worked with that had so many restrictions. When we were going out to eat, we were working out a project. I just let her figure out where she could eat because she couldn't eat garlic or onions or this or that. And so, maybe for her, it would be good to do all of this testing and really hone in on what the real issue is. But something that you need to take into account for yourself. The bottom line is that we need to start by eating a good, nutritious diet to start with. And I'm going to say that probably most people aren't at that point where they really can honestly say that they are eating the an optimal diet. I can't say that for myself. I still eat some processed foods and some, not a lot, I wouldn't say junk foods, but definitely some processed foods. And so listen to your body. Start with a good whole food, plant-based lifestyle. If you can kind of make that your at least 80% of the time. And then if you're having issues, then you might want to get into that personalized nutrition plan, similar to what I talked about, where you really dig into testing your gut microbiome and your genetics and all of that stuff. Now I'm going to open up for questions or comments.
I don't really have any questions because this is all new to me. It needs to percolate through my brain a little bit. But I will share a story. I get a newspaper, and it's the Washington Post, and every Tuesday or Wednesday it's the health section. And it was so disappointing to read. They devoted a whole section to it. There's no pill. It's eat right, get enough sleep, and moderately exercise. If you do those three, everyone's looking for a pill. So I just thought that was kind of tying into what you were saying, because if you don't do the food first,
yeah, there is no quick fix there, and it is true. That is really what people are looking for, is that quick fix, so they don't have to do it. I'm going to share a story before we go as well. As I may have shared this already, but my aunt, my mom's sister, her oldest sister, ever since I knew, she's passed away now, but when I met her and I knew her, as I remember her, she was always sick and on disability. And, she's one of those people, when you ask her, how are you doing? She'd always had complaints. She could never see the positive side. And there was a point in her life when she actually went on started eating a good diet, watching what she was eating, and she lost a whole bunch of weight. She had so much energy. She was feeling great. We even went on a trip to Atlantic Canada to visit her daughter, who lived out in the Atlantic Canada, and she lived in Western Canada. And that was a big thing, to go on this trip. And she was so full of life and laughing and fun. But what we noticed is she would go into health food stores looking for that supplement that was going to be the thing. And I remember bee pollen was a big thing at that time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she was doing the bee pollen, and I think shark's tail or shark fin and stuff like that. And so she stopped doing those fundamental things with her diet and started looking for that pill that was going to keep and sustain her health. And it didn't work. She gained the weight back. She ended up having a lot of mental health issues. And I think she ended up with dementia and,
Oh, dear.
and
So
ended
sorry.
up in a home. And and passed away very lonely by herself in that situation. But the part that really, really made me sad is how she was looking for that quick fix to make her feel better and keep her health buoyant. And it just doesn't work. Got to do the work.
The disciplined approach.
Yeah. And it, yeah, I mean, I think we need to find ways in our lifestyle that it becomes part of who we are, so that it doesn't become something that we're trying to find a quick fix to, move away from it. And that's I guess the $64,000 question that we all have to figure out for ourselves. What can we do that we can keep in our lifestyle so that we're maintaining our good health as we age, because we can age gracefully or we can age not so gracefully and end up spending, 20 years, 10, 20 years in poor health. And there's no quality of life to that. So I'm on the track. I want to have quality of life right till whatever that end is. Whenever that end comes for me, I want to have quality of life and enjoy my life and be vibrant. And I think I don't know anybody who wouldn't want that. So what are you willing to do to get that? That's the question. Wow, we got really philosophical. All right. We're going to continue with gut health tomorrow. We have so much more to talk about. And so we're going to continue peeling back the layers of gut health tomorrow. So we'll see you then, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Join us live, or you can catch us on the replay. You can, become part of our community. So share and like and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.